Didn't even realize. So thanks, everyone. Which serves as a good reminder. If you do have Amazon Prime and you have not used your Prime sub, think about, spending it on a little guy like me. How are we doing? Hattie's here, Mercy's here. Hey Lizzie, didn't realize my stuff had dropped. Yeah, with Prime, I think you have to redo it every month. It's kind of annoying. I wish you could like set it up in perpetuity for someone, and then like you can change it if you want before the date or whatever. I'm literally off screen with a dog. I do apologize. Hey Molly, how are you doing? I'm in a really good mood today. I went to the gym. Imagine. And I went for a really, really long dog walk with my brother and Bluebell. Usually I take her for like a shorter one most of the time, but on a Sunday, try and go for a longer one. You can't hear me very well. That mic is it says it's fine on OBS. Is anyone else having trouble? Molly's entertaining him. I'm going to entertain you while you cook. Lovely. What are you cooking? I want to know. Is it because I was angled away like this? Hattie says she can hear me fine. Hey, Ren. I don't know. It's angled like towards my mouth. I don't know if anyone else is having trouble. Macy, maybe just send me up, girl. My like I can see it on OBS. Like I'm literally in the green/yellow of like being too loud. So I'm hoping everyone else can hear me okay. It is a bit of an odd one though. Like if I do come away, it does. I mean, that's obvious, right? If I come away from the mic, and I kind of do this a lot, I just move around. I tuned you up, my bad. Don't worry, Mercy. Ow! Don't nibble me. Lizzie's tidying her room, keeping me company for a bit. Lovely. Well, I will just do a little bit of my usual yapatron. Yapatron. We've got actually quite a built. I don't want to say built. Packed stream today. I've got loads of things I want to talk about. I didn't stream last week because I was in Birmingham for Halloween weekend. Yay! It was fun. I was sick twice. And then I took a bomb-ass photo like 5 minutes after, which I actually haven't put on my Bookish account. It was on my my fitness account, and I think I put it as my Facebook profile picture, which obviously you guys don't have me on Facebook. I actually haven't put it on my Bookish account, so I maybe should. I don't know. It's a very good photo. It's a very, very cool photo. But nobody knows that I was sick twice 5 minutes before that. Well, now you guys know. So that's an exclusive for you. Yeah, today, amongst being tugged away by my child, we also have I want to talk about writing. I want to talk about NaNoWriMo. I want to talk about the Goodreads Choice Awards. Oh my god. I'm just gonna let her do her thing now. Okay, you chew that. Good girl. Christ. Yeah, we've got just a lot of things to wear. What day is it? It is the 10th of November. And for those of you who aren't in the UK, it is Remembrance Sunday today. So on the 11th of November, so 11/11, I think it's 1918 is when the war was. So the First World War, right? 1914 to 1918, I believe. So Remembrance Sunday is always the Sunday that's the closest to the 11th of November, the 11th of November being tomorrow. And at 11 o'clock in the morning, you're meant to do 2 minutes silence, right? And it's just to remember the veterans, or the people who died in the war. I'm not really... What? In the club, we all fam. Whatever. War or something, I guess. But yeah, so we did it in school, and it's like people do it IRL as well. So I actually saw a TikTok earlier of someone who was in Greg's when the 2 minute silence hit. So everyone was just like stood in the queue. Like nothing else is happening. You're meant to stop, like drop absolutely everything you're doing and just like observe 2 minute silence as like a respect thing. Yeah, so the Greg's TikTok was funny. I happened to be driving at that point, completely forgot that today was Remembrance Sunday, forgot anything to do with it, to be honest, which I do every year. And I was driving through my village, my small local tiny village, which has its own war memorial. And I was driving through with my windows down, having a great time, listening to Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl, or whatever way around, Super Ultra Graphic Modern Girl, Super Modern Ultra Graphic Girl, whatever it is, by Chapel Roan, very loudly. And I drove past the memorial during the 2 minute silence. I actually have a video that I videoed of myself in the car afterwards, because it's like 20 miles an hour in my village, so it's kind of like you can just like quickly do something on your phone. So like I just recorded myself and I'm there driving like, ooh, sorry, I hope you enjoyed Chapel Road. Whoops. Oh well. Macy said we don't do that in France, but tomorrow is a bank holiday. See, why can't we have that? I would prefer a bank holiday to whatever the hell we do. Ren completely forgot about 2 minute silence, but I was in an art gallery, so we were all quiet anyway. That kind of works out then. When I worked in Spoons, it was always really awkward. People would get so annoyed that we weren't allowed to serve them. That's so fucking funny. I'm just imagining like 11 a.m. Who is there at 11 a.m., right? Not great people, probably either hungover people, or it's like the local old men who like spend the entire day at Spoons and they start drinking at like 11 o'clock. That's who's at Spoons at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. at the Spoons. That's sad. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Once in work, we were in downstairs office doing the 2 minute silence when an account from upstairs walked in shouting up the villa. Up the villa. He was very confused. We were silently trying to tell him to shut up. Not up the villa. Why is it always the Villa fans? I don't know anything about football. Yeah, so today is Remembering Sunday. Remembering Sunday, it's not. That is a song by All Time Low. That is not. It is Remembrance Sunday. So that was my experience today, and that was on my way to the gym. Did I mention I go to the gym? I don't know if you knew. Nothing there. There's nothing to show. We had all the regulars and a load of runners who'd named their running group after the pub, as they'd all come in after their team leader after their run every week. Damn. It said something negative about them. A team leader who was in was a Villa fan. Oh my god. Where's the respect? Where is the respect? So Goodreads Choice Awards, I want to talk about them. We can't talk too much about them because they haven't come out yet, but I'm pretty sure the first round is meant to come out in this coming week, because last year it was on the 14th of November. So I think I haven't really seen any posts about it like on Goodreads. Goodreads Choice. I've literally typed in last night to Google Goodreads Choice Awards 2024 when. Like when? Tell me. 2024 announcement? Someone's done predictions. Like there's like on Google, what's coming up is like lists of people predicting what's going to be in them. Now, wait. Goodreads Choice Awards 2024. Oh, this is just a discussion. Goodreads Choice Awards updates. I know you can't see what I'm looking at. That's 2023. Nobody wants that. There's just predictions, I guess. So I think we can look at the predictions. I don't think I'm going to have read a lot of them this year. And I'll be real, I probably won't have read a lot. I haven't read a lot of them every year. Every single year. I'm like, huh? Nominees must have 3.5 or above. Okay, so hang on. I will share my screen now. We do have. Let's zoom in. Right. So I thought Iron Flame would be there, but as you can see, I did in fact DNF Iron Flame. What's up? Bluebell is wibbling. What's up? Need a wee wee? Right, one sec. Sorry. Just letting the dog out the back. Let's carry on. Yeah, so Iron Flame. Can we talk about Fourth Wing? Like, for a sec. Right, hang on. I know we just started talking about these Goodreads things, but can we talk about Fourth Wing for a second? The first one, I feel, was so good. And I know this isn't a hot take. I know that a lot of people have said the same thing, but I'm going to say it anyway. The fourth wing, Fourth Wing, the first book was so good, right? And I don't think the second one is as good. And I know that's a very basic thing to say, but I just don't think the second one is very good. I mean, I DNF'd it, so take from that what you will. But I didn't DNF it because I hated it. I DNF'd it because I was bored. I thought, like, the pacing of the first one was really good. And, like, the build-up of the love interests getting together was quite good. And the second one, it was just, and I love politics, right? Not to jump ahead in thoughts. Like, I love politics, but the politics in it were not politicking, you know? It was just kind of like, oh, Zayden, violence, like, I just, like, shut up. Like, can we just actually shut up? And, like, why is everyone just so mad all the time? Like, why can't we just, like, can we just talk? Like, can we just not be, like, mad about something? Like, I just feel like I'm not making sense. But the second one just wasn't good. But it still got a 4.35 on Goodreads. Like, what has the first one got? Surely it must be higher than that. Or maybe it's less because 4.57. That's so high. That is such a high rating. 4.57. That's high. That book scares me. I still haven't read it. The first one, I can see why. It scared me for a while. It took me over a year after it came out to read it. Like, Iron Flame had already come out. Although Iron Flame came out pretty quickly after the first one. But it took me a while to read it because I hate hyped books. I hate them. I hate them so much. I wish I could just read a book without knowing anything what anyone thinks about it ever. That's what I would prefer. Which is not great for someone who is in, like, an online book community, but, you know. I only finished Iron Flame because I was listening to it on audio. Don't think I would have got through it otherwise. Yeah, I was listening to it on audio too. And I just wasn't. I just don't like it. Didn't like it. I DNF'd and got Millie to tell me how it ends. See, I need to tell... right, Molly, I'll just get you to tell me how it ends. And then we'll just do Chinese whispers of how Iron Flame ended to, like, everybody. But yeah, the second one, I just, like... Oh, it was just like, oh... Like, where's all the intrigue gone? Where's all the like, build-up of sexiness gone? It's just gone. It's just gone. It's not there. So... not a good time. Anyway, funny story by Emily Henry. Now, I've actually only read one Emily Henry book. And this is because, and this ties into what we're going to talk about later about the series tracker that we're going to go through that I have. I've only read one Emily Henry book, and it's because I own it on Kindle. And I think it was because I got it for 99p. I really, really liked it. It was Book Lovers. That's the one that I read. And I thought it was really, really good. I really liked that the romance was done really well, but at the same time, the characters had other things going on in their lives that they were, like, maybe having issues with, or I specifically remember the female main character like the storyline with her also very much focused on her relationship with her sister. Like I really liked that. So I really want to read more Emily Henry, but I am also trying really hard. Really hard might be an exaggeration. I am trying in general to read books that I own. Because I tell you what, I'm going to tell you what percentage of books I own that I have read, and you are all going to shout at me. Because it's bad. It is really bad. Emily Henry, my queen. She's fab. I mean, I've only read the one book, but she is fab. And I know she's very highly rated in general. So, considering as well, I feel like romances aren't very highly rated in general. I feel like even good romances, like, you know, highly regarded around the world or whatever, tend to like struggle to go above like a 4.1 or a 4.2, like such as Bride here as well. Oh, Ren, you've also only read Book Lovers. Borrowed it from my sister during my I hate romance but I don't want to hate romance phase. It was okay. I feel like books where the romance is only the plot point are just not for me. I liked it, but just... Oh, you got cut off, Ren. Bride is... Okay, I have 2 comments. I have 2 comments in chat. Bride is so good as well. And then Bride is ass. Literally... Now, Molly, I feel like Bride is too big brain for you. I haven't read it, but I know what it is. Like, I know exactly what, like, I know, Mercy, I know what you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, people who like Bride, I think, are my kind of people. But only because I read a lot of fan fiction, okay? And we are not gonna get into into specifics, but Notting, I am familiar with Notting. So, like, I feel like I'm gonna like. That was scary. I'm sorry, Mercy. Hattie said mine is bad too. Oh, with your percentage of books read, yeah. The Notting was the only reason it dragged 2 stars out of me. Stop. What am I? I mean, the joke is like I'm calling you a furry, but I know you're not. Like, it's just a joke. Don't worry, because I'm not a furry. Like, and also being a furry is actually fine. It's normal. Maybe it's not normal. Let's move on. Hattie says, yeah, it's going to be a goal next year to read more books I own as much as possible. TBR, not increasing too much. Yeah. I'm not. Oh, it's actually really bad. Missy. Bluebell, can you please go to sleep? I'm sick of this. Every time I stream, you've been on such a massive walk today. Anyway, let's move on. I don't know what The Women is, but it has a 4.63. That might be one of the highest rated things I've ever seen. A 4.63. This is probably contemporary, right? Women can be heroes. Oh, Vietnam. It's historical fiction. The Women is historical fiction on the Vietnam War. There we are. Thank you, Mercy. I just am not really a historical fiction gal. I am if there's magic, like if it's historical fantasy, but not so much heavy ass, you know. Yeah, good for you. Good for you, women. Go women, right? Then we have House of Flame and Shadow, which I've not read. I've not read the second one either yet, because I keep hearing such bad things, and I keep reading. I've read Crescent City 1, and I've reread Crescent City 1. And at this point, I feel like I'm just reading it as a standalone, and I don't really care for trying to continue. I mean, I will at some point, But I also, at this point, might just wait for book 4 to come out, because I'm pretty sure it's only 4 books. And if I wait and then she releases the 4th book and then goes, surprise, there's gonna be more, I'm gonna be mad. I will be mad. Can you just finish a series? Like, just finish it. I know she did. She finished Throne of Glass. Fine. But she finished ACOTAR, and now there's more. Just over it. I'm sick and tired of it. Just finish things. Just for the summer. These look like... What are these? I don't know. Look at this. These aren't even on my shelves. Just for the summer. Part of your world number 3. Little Mermaid? Oh, is this romance? But it's part 3. Justin has a curse. Thanks to a Reddit thread, it's all over the internet. Oh, it's like a Good Luck Chuck kind of vibe. I just finished Part of Your World. Oh, is it the first one? Is that the first one? Did you like it? Did you enjoy? This is the first one. 4.29 is pretty good. I cut over the booby goat. Alexis Montgomery. A ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her. Ooh. Not a Little Mermaid ref in sight. What the fuck? This is not what I signed up for. The parents want her to be a surgeon. She just wants to be an ER doctor. She's having a short-term fling with him. See, this is so dramatic. Letting their relationship become anything more than a short-term fling would mean turning her back on her family and giving up the opportunity to help thousands of people. Like, why does it have to be all or nothing? Like, I either don't love this man or I give up my entire life. Like, what do you mean? That sounds pretty good. Oh, Steph gave it 5. Beth gave it 5. Where I gave it 5. There's quite a few 5s. Marloose, Kendra, Ashlig, Denise, Sandra. Sandra does not give romances 5 stars, I feel. I feel like that is important. I don't feel like she does. It was good, ridiculously sappy. I feel like I need that at the moment. I am really missing romance in my life right now. Not to get like so deep with you guys, but I'm like so lonely at the moment. Like I need something like this. Although I like this whole Good Luck Chuck thing. I like the idea of this. But I'll read the first one first. Is it like most romances where the sequels have like just characters from the other books? Or I don't know if any of you even know that. That sounds pretty good. It does. 507. How have I not heard of this book? Whatever. The Crimson Moth. Okay, I feel like I have heard of the Crimson Moth. I didn't know that its name was Heartless Hunter. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's like most romance series are like that, right? Heartless Hunter is called Crimson Moth in the UK. That's why. I read it, but it's not. But it's the only book this year that I just completely forgot I finished. Very mid. Oof. Yeesh. Tell me how you really feel, Ren. Jesus. Is this a romantasy? Yes. I have heard of the Crimson Moth. In general. Also, Kristen Ciccarelli. I'm pretty sure she did like one of the very first Fairy Loot books. Yes, The Last Namsara. This was one of the very first Fairy Loot books ever in 2017. Wow. My memory, guys. That's crazy. This didn't do great. It didn't do amazing. Although, these are pretty high ratings, to be fair. It's above a 4-star. So, I mean, where's Sandra in chat? She read all the bloody Fairy Loots. Oh, if I click on it, I'll see her rating. Friends and following. Cassie gave it 3, 2, 2, 2. Where's Sandra? Sandra gave it 2 stars. So, yeah. However, look, this Crimson Moth has got 135,000 ratings. That's over 100,000 more ratings than this first book. So, do you know what? When people say, you know, like this was her debut, like people knew about it because it's in Fairy Loot, but like not really, and it didn't do that well. Keep trying, because this is what, 7 years later, and this is doing pretty well. 25 editions, so it's probably in all sorts, has probably been in the Fairy Loot Romantasy. It probably came out in that. Like, do you know what? Like, just keep trying. That's what I say. That's what everyone says. But you could, like, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And clearly, this has done well for her. So our main character's called Rune. Okay. A revolution. Wow. Witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts. Oh. So magic's banned? How original. Oh, and the magic is also dying. I've never had that in a book before. Ever. Okay, so she spends her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, and she spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. This sounds ridiculous. Why, she's Batman for witches? What do you mean? Handsome Gideon Sharp, and he's a witch hunter. Oh, I fucking hate this. This is literally just a 10 million tropes like pushed into one, like squished together. Like, do you like this one? Would you like this? And all of Book Talk has gone, yes, I would like this. Thank you. And that's fine. You know, that is fine. People like what they like, but it's just like, I just can't with that, because I know the writing's just mediocre. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't mind really, really overdone tropes if the writing is like incredible. But when you see so many overdone tropes and so many mid writers, I'm just like, huh? I think that's why I thought I hadn't read it. I've read it so much before. Literally, like, what was that other one? Serpent and Dove. That's just what that is. Right? Holly Jackson. This is so funny because I had something to say about Holly Jackson. I actually have not read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I feel like everyone has read it. I don't know why I paused so much then. It sounds like that book that pretends to be French with the snake. Yeah, Serpent and Dove. Yeah, literally that one. We had the same thought, Missy. We are literally connected. Anyway, yeah, so Holly Jackson. So I feel like everybody has read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I've just not. See, it's something I want to read. I just have not read it. And I've not read any of her books. Do you guys recommend them? I feel like that's a stupid question, but like... Oh, Hattie, you haven't read it either. I'm pretty sure I own it. I own the first one. I think I got it from like a gift on like an Amazon gift wishlist thing. I loved the reappearance of Rachel Price. Preferred it over Five Survive. Oh right, yeah. So she's got two. They look like standalones? So there's Five Survive, and the reappearance. So this one is the one that's on the potentials. Is it just another thriller? Yeah, a new true crime fueled mystery thriller about a girl determined to uncover the shocking truth about her missing mother while filming a documentary on the unsolved case. So this is YA. Yeah, young adult. What I wanted to talk to you guys about, DNF'd reappearance, Five Survivors. See, it's so mad how everyone just has completely different opinions. I liked all of them, read the Good Girls Guide series as an unintentional buddy read with my mum and sister. Oh, that's so cute. That is lush. Holly Jackson is bringing out an adult book. I found this article earlier when I was looking up stuff to talk about on stream, and that's so funny that it's like on that list and we ended up talking about it. So she's got, yeah, Penguin has acquired the first adult novel from best-selling author. Oh, that's a mistake. That should be of, not or. I'm so good at copy editing. I just think I would be so good at publishing and editing and just doing anything. Anyway, Joel Richardson acquired UK and Commonwealth rights, and it's called Not Quite Dead. 2 books. This is a duology. Not Quite Dead. And it's a high concept thriller about Jet Mason, a young woman who's attacked in her own home, and it leaves her with a brain injury that all but guarantees she'll die in 7 days. With only a week to live, now with questions about all of her closest friends and family, she sets out to solve her own murder, which sounds pretty cool. And it comes out on the 17th of July next year. So if any of you did not know that this was coming out, get it on your most anticipated books lists, guys. Sounds pretty good. I mean, obviously, I just haven't read any of these. So haven't even read the books. I've gone out of the so I haven't really got it. Sounds pretty cool, right? Yeah. Tune in, how to make smarter decisions in a noisy world. That sounds like a non-fiction. The Prisoner's Throne. God. Guys, do you remember The Cruel Prince? Do you remember that? Because I do. It was so long ago. I remember waiting for The Queen of Nothing to come out. And then being really disappointed in it. I never actually moved on and read this sequel duology about, what is it, Oak? Is that the kid's name? I never did. And look, it's not that highly rated. And this is a sequel as well. Like, sequels, I feel, do tend to be rated higher simply because more people who like the series will move on with it, if that makes sense. I feel like that makes sense. But like, these I feel are quite low rated. And look, only 20,000 reviews. But if we do, I reread the series 2 years ago, it holds up. Yeah, honestly, I would agree. This is a higher rated, and it's got 1.5 million ratings. 1.5 million. That's crazy. Like, that is just insane. Not me giving it 4 stars. 1.5 million. 1.5 million. Well, 1.4, but we're rounding. 1.5 million ratings. And then this one, only 100,000. Like, what is that? 10%? That's crazy. Like, I know, like, look at me on my one to read. Like, I know that, like, as time goes on, like, stuff, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Interest will wane. But I thought at least the first book in this would have, like, obviously not as many, but, like, a lot more than 100,000 is what I thought. And it came out last year. It's still got, like, 63 editions. Sorry? I suppose that includes, like, international ones. Like, in my head when I read that, I thought, like, oh my god, Illumicrate Fairy. Like, and then The Prisoner's. And this has already got, less ratings, and also overall is rated lower, which is a bad sign. Which means people enjoyed this enough that they wanted to continue, and they rated it lower in general. That is what that is telling me. So I actually kind of feel like I am never gonna read this. How do I remove it? I can't remove it on this page. Goodreads is such a fucking dog shit site. Anyway. Yeah. Reckless I've heard of. The Powerless trilogy I've heard of. It's another romantasy. This Rebecca Ross one, duology, I've heard of as well. But I really, really, really did not like Rebecca Ross's first book, which was A River Enchanted. Oh, well, it's not her first book, but they had this in Illumicrate, and it was so fucking boring. I hated it. But then a lot of people have loved Divine Rivals, so I'm wondering if, like, I should give it a go. I forgot Ruthless Vows was this year. Honestly, some of these on here, like, I genuinely am like, that came out this year. Like, bloody Crescent City, I was like, that was this year, but it was like January or February, so it was really early. Like Divine Rivals, I have heard really good things. You didn't like River Enchanted? Yeah, no, I DNF'd it. DNF, baby. At like 60%. I thought it was so boring. I just could not. The plot was boring. I didn't like the characters. I just didn't get it. Like, it just wasn't for me. Sorry about it. But I don't know about this one. Like, I've seen so... It's overhyped. Again, it's another overhyped one. And I'm like... Well, if Cindy has rated it high, then I don't know what to tell you, to be honest. I like Divine Rivals, but I can't really remember much of what happened in Ruther's Vows. Yeah. And this is the thing. I keep getting like, ooh, shiny about new books or books that are like more recent. And I'm like, no, I need to read books that are on my shelves. Heartstopper obviously is going to get the graphic novel award. Iron Flame, I think, will probably win the fantasy one. It's between House of Flame and Shadow and that. Bride will struggle, I think, because of like it's a romance and it's in a fantasy. And you could argue the same thing for Iron Flame and House of Flame and Shadow, but this one is more romance, so I feel like Bride's going to be more in the romance category. But then when it's up against Emily Henry, like I feel like Emily Henry wins every time. Do you know what I mean? And then as we get down, I'm just like, The Familiar. I don't even remember this coming out. Also, it's so low rated already. Lee Bardugo really fell off. Like, really fell off. That's crazy. A Fate Inked in Blood. I've heard some good things and then some awful things, so I kind of stayed away from it. Emily Wilde. I know the first one was a Fairy Loot book and everyone went crazy over it. And I remember like the sale for the second one being really difficult or something. Oh, Somewhere Beyond the Sea. I should read this. I haven't read it yet. I really, really should. And Molly, you should as well. Molly catching strays. I hate everything to do with Jennifer Lynn Barnes' series. Ali Hazelwood, have not read a single book by her. I have heard that every book is the exact same. Just slightly different characters. Quicksilver, I've heard alright stuff about. I'll get to it eventually. I've heard alright stuff about this one. 4.44 is not bad for 100,000 ratings. That's really not bad. Do not touch the sword. Do not turn the key. Do not open the gate. Me whenever I leave my house, telling people not to go in my room. So they're in a desert. She has strange powers and she picks pockets. Face to face with death himself. She reopens a gateway between realms and is transported to a land of ice and snow. The Fae. Turns out the Fae are real, and she's in the middle of a centuries-long conflict. Mistakenly binds herself to a handsome... What does this mean? What do you mean binds? Like they have a bond bind? Or like a metaphorical bind? Because I would like a permanent, you know. And they were bound and they were roommates. This actually sounds pretty good. Graphic violence, adult situations. Yes, romantasy. I am intrigued by this one. Friends and following. 5 stars. Not me like fully just using this to find new books when I literally need to just read the books on my shelves. Like a mating bond, maybe. That's what I'm hoping for. Because despite how much I fucking hate mating bonds in ACOTAR, well, let me clarify. I loved when there was a whole mating bond thing between Feyre and Rhys. Loved that. And then when everyone just started getting paired off, I thought a mating bond was meant to be super fucking rare. Like, What? How is everyone fucking paired off within your group of friends? Whatever. We're not gonna talk about it. But so in general, I like a mating bond, but in fucking ACOTAR, they just took it too far. Anyway, I don't know any of the rest of these books except for Fangirl Down. I want to read that. Ghost Station. I don't even know why that's on my want to read. I don't know. Oh, Maple Hills. Although Molly, you hated this one, didn't you? Wildfire. Was it the third one you hated? Oh, Amari was so bad this year. I hated it. I hope it does well in the middle grade round though. Oh, it was okay. The third one was bad. Okay, so you liked this one, Wildfire, but the third one was bad. Damn. But yeah, I really do hope Amari does well in the category, only because this third book, there was like no hype surrounding it. It didn't get a Waterstones special edition. I've got a special edition of the first two books. It's over there. I can't be asked to get it out. The first two books of Waterstone special editions, sparkly edges, lovely, like, you know, like if you take the dust jacket off, there's like a nice little thing underneath. And then the third book, like there was no hype. Nobody was talking about it, it felt like, on Bookstagram or anything. Nobody was promoting it, except for BB himself. And like, I don't know, it was just like, it just came out to like no fanfare. And then I read it and I gave it like 3 stars or like 2.5, and I rounded it up because I like the series. And I was just a bit like, oh, like why has it only got 1,000 ratings? Like it came out at least like 2 months ago. Like that's crazy. I'm gonna vote for this book, even though like there's no vote. So this isn't voting for the Goodreads Choice Awards. I'm just voting to put it in this list. Yeah, it just makes me sad. But I've seen this on people's socials. Anyway, I'm enough of looking at these. What I want to show you is this. This is my book catalogue, my personal library catalogue, and we have. All right, so these red ones are things that I'm like gonna get rid of. Like I was writing it down and I was like, I don't want to own this book anymore. So once I get rid of them, I will remove them. I've just put them in red. There's only 3. It's Oz. Yeah, this is my book catalogue. It's still going. We have 611 books. Obviously, the top cell doesn't count because it's, you know, it's got the, yeah. So I have 611 books on my shelves. What I would really love for you guys to do right now is to guess, how many of these books have I read? Like what, as a percentage? Just let me know. What do you think? How many books do you think I have read out of my 611? And I know earlier, like I alluded it to being bad, but like I was, you know, exaggerating for stream, exaggerating for jokes, and blah blah blah. How many do you think? Molly has gone low at 28%. That is pretty low. That is very, very low. Mercy 25. You guys hate me. 25%, imagine. Or it could be. I don't know. I could be lying to you right now. Oh, Molly, realistic guess. I'm going to say 40%. Do not try and backtrack now. Miss Molly, do not try and backtrack. You said 28%. Right. Okay, Miss is going to say, you can't change it. You can't change your mind. You can't. You're not allowed. Funnily enough, Molly. Oh fuck. I went in way too far. It's 29%. It's 29%. Oh. Like, what do you mean? Like, when I what do you mean? Oh no. I can't with this. Like, I don't understand. I was being a bitch. You were actually bang on the money. Now, I would like to say that in 2021, I received over, I think, over 120 books from like viewers and things for Christmas, birthday, etc. So if we take that away, it's not all books that I've bought. Okay? Like, it's not all ones that I've bought for myself and I've gone out and I mean, I know I'm clutching at straws here. But oh, so you're saying it's awful. I mean, I didn't say that. Like, you said that. So if in your words, like, you think that, then yeah. It is bad. It is really bad. And now, do you know what I thought? When I first did it, like, as I was putting things, like, as I was putting the books into the spreadsheet, I thought to myself, oh, like, maybe I'll be at, like, 45%. Like, that was my own ballpark, was 45%. Now, I know I can be delusional. Okay? I can be delusional. Everyone can be delusional. However, 29%, I was 15% off. So, what's, like, 15... Hang on. Okay, so 0.15 star. I thought I had read, rounding up, 100 more books than I have. In my head, I had read 100 more than I actually have. Not gonna lie, this has made me feel less stressed about mine. Sorry, my liege. I mean, I am glad that I could bring you some form of joy, some form of de-stress for this. Yeah. Let's just look at some other stats, shall we? So I just did some other quick ones. This one's a breakdown of genre. Nobody is surprised that 61% of my books are fantasy, and that doesn't even include... I started subgenring, and then I kind of gave up. So I think I will go back and do take out the romantasy ones out of here. I'll go back at some point. Science fiction, 5%. Literally, it's just 61%, and then the rest is like fuck all. I actually have 7% manga, which I thought was quite high, actually. But it's because I own, like, the entire... Like, if I'm gonna own manga, I need to own the entire series. I can't just, like, have one or two... Like, that's just not what I do. Or I just have volume 1 of a series I really, really like. So, like, Fairy Tail and My Hero Academia, I only have volume 1. That's it. And I think they were gifted to me as well. So... I'm gonna have to count mine immediately. Same. My physical TBR is like 170, and I thought that was a lot. 610 books. And so my physical TBR is 431. And I got rid of like 150 books in August. Most of which I hadn't read. Which is just crazy. I think mine's at like 270. That's not too bad. Mine's way too high. Bought way too many books from charity shops a few years ago. Yeah, I mean, I was saying this to Molly the other day, actually, in DMs. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but like, I used to get 5 sub boxes a month. 5 a month. That's like 50 books a year. And I did that for like 3 years, I feel like 3-ish years. Good luck writing all that in your journal. I am not doing that, respectfully. Like, oh my god, I just short circuited. I like there is like the reading list section. Oh, I can show it to you actually. So in these always fully booked planners, right, there is, I'm not showing you that page, that's really bad writing on it. There is like reading checklist, and this goes on for, let me count, 2, 4, 6 pages. So you could maybe fit like, I want to say like 200 books. Maybe 3. No, it's not 50 on a page. It's more like 25. Maybe like 200. Yeah, 200-ish books. I genuinely thought you froze. My brain froze. So they have that reading checklist thing, which I may utilize in 2025 for my 2025 planner, which is due so soon. I maxed mine out. Let's see. I just can't. Like, I actually just can't. I don't understand how I own so many unread things. Like, I just thought I'd read way more than I have. I think it's like I think it is like 200. So I am, again, yeah, so I'm unsurprised that fantasy was way higher than anything else. We've got some graphic novels. We've got actually quite a bit of horror. Quite a lot of manga, couple of comics. Like, if we do all of that, it's 71 books, which are just like pictures. And to be fair, these 42 manga, I've not read a single one, but I've watched the anime of them. So I need to like have a certain amount of time in between having watched the anime to then read the manga, because it's basically frame for frame. Like, it's not going to be different. Like, so I've been trying to like kind of wait and do like a whole video or something of me like reading an entire manga series, kind of like a bit like Gav does. That's what I was planning on doing. So that 42 is a very easily achievable like physical TBR to get down. Like, if I think about all of like the firsts I think I have like 4, because I have Fairy Tail, My Hero Academia, Card Captor Sakura, and Soul Eater, which are just like the volume ones that I kind of have for lols. And then I have the entirety of Fruits Basket, the entirety of Full Metal Alchemist, bar 3 volumes, which are on my wish list. I'm just saying, they're on my wish list. Because I don't want to buy them because they're expensive. And then I have like 6 Inuyasha volumes, or 5, but I'm still collecting the Inuyasha volumes. There's like, I feel like there's 18 of them. There's either 12 or 18 of them. And I think there is 18 of the Inuyasha ones. And I want to collect all of them before I start reading them. So it's like kind of like that with the manga. So I feel like at a push, 30 of this 42, I could very easily just read, like just do it. And that is a big amount. Like, how much percentage is that? Not me trying to convince myself. That's 5%. If I read all of the manga that I could read, is 5% already, and we'd be up to 35%. I feel like that's so easy to do. So I feel like I might do that as a goal for this year, like before the end of 2024. What do you guys think? Do you think I think I could do that? Just mark them off, relieve your stress. I'm not doing that. I'm not cheating. That's cheating. I'm gonna read them because it'll be Fruits Basket and it'll be Full Metal Alchemist, which are 2 of my favorite animes of all time, which is why I've collected like the special editions of them. So I want to read them. 30 books, that is. That's 30 books. And on Goodreads, I will count it as 90 books because it'll be 3. The volumes are 3 in 1. So, is that insane to do? Right. Be honest with me. my manga in general, right, comes out in singular tiny volumes. Wait, hang on. I'm gonna get you a visual aid. Okay, I'm back. So, manga, right? Usually, a singular volume. This is a single volume of manga. Okay? Stick with me. Single volume of manga. These are like fucking £7 each. £7 for fucking pictures. Anyway, love My Hero Academia. Great fucking series. The last season of the anime is coming out next year. Would highly recommend it. Anyway, one volume, right? Frequently, very frequently, what publishers will do will publish something called a 3-in-1 volume. So you would get 3 volumes in one. This happens to be a special edition of Fruits Basket, but it is similar and the same as the like big 3-in-1 volumes that you get. Would you count this as one book on Goodreads now? Or would you say that you were reading, like, mark, like, once you'd finished the 3 volume, like this one big volume, let me just, I'm gonna try and see if like it tells you when you're ending volume 1 or it just literally carries on. Chapter 3. Chapter 4. Is it going to tell me? Chapter 5. Okay, I'm happy we have chapters, but I want to know if it's volume 1. I don't think it is. I don't think it's telling me when volume 1 ends. Chapter 6. I think it's just giving me chapters. What would you do? Would you mark this as one book read? So it's like 12 books total? Or would you mark this on Goodreads as the 3 separate books? Because I don't think, if I come on, I had big editions like that with Death Note, yeah, and I counted one big edition as one book on Goodreads. Do you know what's more difficult? Is the fact that I sometimes, well, actually most of the time I read manga on my iPad, which is in a, like on an app called Shonen Jump. And that's just chapter by chapter. So in one volume, there's like 5 chapters maybe. So how do I fucking do that on Goodreads? I do that as volume by volume then. Like that's what I've done with Death Note actually, because I've been reading Death Note on Shonen Jump. But I've just been looking up like which chapters go in which volume and like marking the volume as read when I've read it. I mark it as 1 on Storygraph because I wouldn't just read one volume out of it and then put it back on the shelf for months. And also because I have to have the editions match up on my Storygraph, otherwise it bugs me. Usually you can check on Wikipedia which chapter is in which volume. Yeah, that's what I do. I Google it. So that's what I do for that. But like in my head, I'm like, well, what's the difference between reading this and just marking one volume as read? Like, would you say it's cheating? Is my question. Because now that you've said this, like now that both of you have said that, I am leaning more towards counting this as one book. Because it's also just a bit longer. Do you know what I mean? It feels more like a whole book rather than this little thing. I'm gonna go on Goodreads. God, I need to zoom out. I want to find if they even have these editions on Goodreads. I mean, they should, right? Because they have most ISBNs, right? You can search by ISBN, can't you? Yeah, search by book title, author, or ISBN. Let's type the ISBN in. 978 316 360166. Okay, yeah, they have got it on here. I think you do whatever you want. Personally, I counted it as one because like my edition IRL and on Goodreads to match. I don't think it's cheating. I more don't do it because the edition matching thing. That's fair. I wouldn't, for some reason, say now that I did read these 33 in 1 volumes. I would hate the fact that there would be 90 books on my Goodreads read. Like, that just doesn't feel real. Like, I know it is, and I know it counts as reading, and I know it is reading. But it also just feels like I'm inflating my Goodreads goal for the sake of it. Which I know I'm not. I'm reading the same amount of book as everyone else. If it has a front and back cover, it counts as 1. Okay. Okay, yeah. I'm leaning more towards that as well. Because, like, that's this one, right? So this has, what? Does it say 400 pages? Yeah. But look how weird the like old anime drawings are, like, crazy. I've marked 40-page books on Goodreads. Yeah, same. Like, I've marked, like, picture books. Like, I don't know. I think I would feel strange about having my Goodreads, like, read be like 200 books and like half of them are just individual manga volumes. Exactly that too. I always feel like I have to specify how many books of my goal are manga graphic novels when people ask. Yeah. And it's like, you shouldn't have to, but at the same time you do. Because if someone point blank to my face told me that they'd read like 400 books and they were all novels, I just wouldn't believe them. Do you know what I mean? I'm glad we've sorted that out. Fine. Yeah, it's a collector's edition. I just feel like with all of the other ones, I do it with individual volumes, but then just because I'm reading it IRL, oh god, this is just this is not even worth talking about. It's just not worth anything. Anyway, I was looking up books that were coming out soon. And I don't know if any of you have read Pucking Around by Emily Rath, but this is like a very recommended book in the like dark, kinky romance Kindle Unlimited sphere. You know? It's not necessarily like the best thing ever. It's basically, if you're horny, then you should read it kind of vibe. But I was searching for actually specifically queer things that were coming out, and this book is coming out in December. Hey, been AWOL the last few weeks because of writing. Oh, hey, Hannah. Hope everyone's well. I'm doing good. How are you? Yeah, so this one's coming out. North is the Night. And supposedly it's for the LGBTQ. But then the top review said it is not for the LGBTQ. So I'm not too sure. But it's written by that same woman who wrote Pucking Around, which is like crazy why choose hockey team kink vibe. So I was a little bit interested in this one. Two bold young women defy gods and mortals. Mythical Finnish folklore inspired duology. And it says fans for Catherine Arden and Naomi Novik, which I am one of those, but I just don't think that's correct. Like, I just don't feel like it is. Mercy's heading to bed. See ya. Have a good night. Hope you sleep well. Yeah, I don't know. Just the Catherine Arden. I just don't know if it's really that, you know? Because I have a feeling, like, I was reading the reviews, like 5-star, 1-star, 4-star, 5-star, 5-star, 4-star, 3. Like, stop doing everything nice to finish this thesis. Misreading so much. Oh, bless you, Hannah. Yeah, I can imagine that is absolutely fucking rough. So I don't know if this is going to be good. But I'm going to click want to read anyway. But it comes out in December. So I thought I'd put it on your guys' radar in case you like pucking around and thought to give this a try. It's only got 100 ratings, so you can't really, you know, this 4.1, baby, it's absolutely not going to stay that way. Hey, Leo. How's it going? I had a book club call till now. No worries. We're just chatting shit as usual. How is everyone? I'm good. I'm cold, actually. I don't know where my child is, so I've got the back door open so she can run around. Yeah, this was it. Can I backtrack like 50 combos and ask a question? Go for it. Come on, Moz. We're waiting on you now. What's your question? I want to know. It's okay. We'll just pause stream. Like, we'll just stop. It's really important. In your list of books, do you count multiple editions of the same book? Okay. No. So, what I have done is I've written in column H, copies owned. So, technically, I do own more than 611 books, right? But, exposed. Shut up. I have written, you can see I've got 4 copies of Red Rising, 3 copies of the sequel, 2 copies of that sequel, 2 copies of Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Haha, kidding, boo. I'm counting my shelves right now. That's a beautiful spreadsheet. Thank you. It's actually really not. It's literally just the name, the author, genre, age. Is it a series or a standalone? Have I read it? Where did I get it? How many copies do I own? And the winner for copies owned was Sabriel. Unsurprising. Not close, not far behind though was Red Rising. So yeah, I got rid of a lot of multiples as well in August. So only the best get multiples. Anyway, yeah, going back to the stats of that. I'm done talking about this. I literally just wanted to put it on your radar. Back to the stats of that. Yeah, so we've got like all of this, and then I just did a little breakdown by where I got it from. And now this 55% from Amazon. Honestly, a lot of these are going to have been gifted. I want to say at least like 60-70% of these are gifted. As Mercy said, yeah, I'm blaming you guys from the past like 4 years. Because I don't tend to buy off Amazon myself. But then some of these as well, I may have just put Amazon when I can't remember where I've got it from. Really, I should have put unknown for some of them. But I think I just was putting Amazon because I got lazy towards the end and I couldn't be asked. But yeah, we got 55% from Amazon, which is crazy. 13% from Illumicrate. 7% from Fairy Loot. 5% from Broken Binding. 8% from Waterstones. 8% from Goldsboro. And then like 2% from Yalk at one point. Like I went to Yalk for like 4 years in a row and I got quite a lot of books in general from there. So, and then I did a mini little breakdown by middle grade YA adult as well. And surprisingly own a lot of YA. I think a lot of the gifted ones were YA. And obviously, most all of the Fairy Loot ones will be YA, except for like maybe 5, because I did subscribe to the adult box for like a little bit. But I was actually surprised at how equal the YA and adult were, considering like in my head, like I don't read YA. Do you know what I mean? Like I used to read a lot of it, but like for like at least 2-3 years now I've been saying, yeah, I don't read YA, I only read adult. So should I just get rid of all these books then? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, how has that happened? And I will be honest, like a lot of them are paperbacks that are behind me, like paperbacks, like normal paperbacks and hardbacks, like not special editions, because I have gotten rid of a lot of my special editions that I just wasn't interested in, such as like Illumicrate and Fairy Loot monthlies and Goldsboro. Fucking dog shit. I fucking hated that sub. I don't know why I kept it for so long. Anyway, yeah, so this was the stats for my personal catalogue. Hope you enjoyed. I am actually going to go through... I had one other, like, tiny thing that I'd found. It was... Reese's Book Club. So, Reese Witherspoon is writing a thriller. Don't know if you guys knew. Co-writing. And also... she's gonna have her own imprint now as well, because I'm sure you guys know like Reese's Book Club is a thing. It's been a thing since like 2017, I think, so like 7 years. But she's now got an imprint. I think it's with Penguin Random House, so they're gonna publish like 1 book a month with that imprint, which is Reese's Book Club imprint. Now I don't know whether that means that's going to be the pick for Reese's Book Club. It makes it sound like it, because why is it called the same thing otherwise? So it means now that they are publishing the books that are like the book club pick. But I feel like that's kind of weird, because I feel like Reese's Book Club shouldn't be like a book that's like being published. I feel like it should be an already published book. Not that I've read any of these books. I literally was looking through this list of Reese's Book Club books and I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard of that one. And I've not read any of them. Starling House, though, is a funny one to have there as a fantasy. But, you know, to each their own. But yeah, I thought I just would let you guys know that as well. I feel like that's not really that relevant to us and the kind of books we read. Like, some of you will have read stuff like this, like Daisy Jones. And I've still got Daisy Jones on I'm hibernating it. That means I've DNF'd it, but not permanently. That's what that means. Yeah. Just thought it was interesting that she's getting her own imprint. And I was wondering if it meant that just the ones she publishes are going to be... Oh, wait, have I read one? Oh, Yellowface. Duh. Obviously, I'm going to read anything R.F. Kuang puts out. I've read the top 3, only liked Daisy Jones. Yeah, isn't this by, like, a potential murderer? And then, I swear this one has, like, problematic things in it. Do not take this as gospel. I could have made that up. I just finished An Academy of Liars by the author of Starling House. Those are not the same authors. An Academy of Liars is by Alexis Henderson, and Starling House is by Alex E. Harrow. What did you think of An Academy of Liars, though? Because I read it recently and I really was disappointed. sorry about it, Leah. Like, fully, like, didn't even, like, say, I'm so sorry. I haven't read Starling House. Yeah, I haven't read it either. It's on my list, though. But it's got quite a low rating, surprisingly. But Alex E. Harrow, I love her books. The way I was on the other side of the room and I knew you were talking about crawdads. Everyone knows. Everyone just knows. Oh god, this is such a shit book. A Spindle Splintered. Don't read this. It's bad. I really need to catalogue all my books and do an unhaul, but that's post-thesis Hannah's problem. Yeah, do not be trying to do all that whilst you're writing a thesis. I liked it. Could have been more fleshed out for sure. Yeah, I really, really thought the beginning was really strong. I thought the beginning, this is for we're talking about An Academy of Liars by Alexis Henderson. It's a horror, dark academia. It started out really, really, really strong. Like, I loved it. Like, 5-star vibes for sure. And then the academia side kind of just like went like kind of squiff, and then there was like things that happened that were not explained at all. And I don't mind things not being explained if I feel like there's a reason for it. It felt like she'd just kind of forgotten to tie up some loose ends, and it wasn't satisfying. Like, I just kind of was like, okay. And a romance I didn't buy into. I didn't. Also, why even put a sex scene in if you're gonna like just talk about it in such a robotic wooden way? Like, I didn't really understand that. I listened to a Spindle Splintered. Spindle Glad I didn't spend money on it. Yeah, I didn't spend money on it either. I think I also listened to it on Everand. I think at the time it was called. Oh my god, what did it used to be called? Scribd. God. My brain is not working at all today. When is it ever, actually, to be fair? Right. Oh, Hannah, if you weren't here earlier, I've only read 29% of my physical books. Just thought I would let you know, since you weren't here. And Leo, actually. Since you guys weren't here. Just say that one again. I'm getting real Flashback Mary vibes at the moment from this lighting, and I'm not a fan. I've moved my desk around. I don't know if you guys noticed. I moved it around. Change your costume. Change it around. The desk used to be this way, and like the books were directly behind me. But now you have the window directly behind me, and my shelves are here. I was about to say something looks different. That just means you got a lot to look forward to. Thanks, Hannah. That's really positive. I thought you were moving. No, unfortunately not. Unfortunately, I will be staying at home for the foreseeable future. Unluckily for me. I have one more thing to talk through with you guys. And I was hoping that I would maybe make a video out of it. Like, maybe edit my stream footage. Although I should have recorded it locally to do that. Oh, I can just start recording now. Crazy! Rather than it like uploading to Twitch and then re-downloading it, because the quality will be bad. So I'm gonna go through with you. Wait, let me start recording. Oh my god, hey! Hi, YouTube! Everyone say hi, YouTube. Hi, YouTube! We're gonna record a video for you on stream, and it's gonna be the first one, and we're gonna try and do stuff. That'll be cool. Hi, YouTube. Thanks, Leo. Leo's here. Leo's on it. Leo's on it. It's fine. You can cut that. Hi, YouTube. Today we are gonna be going through all of my series, all of my read series, all of my unread series, all of my DNF'd series, all of the series that are completely published but I'm not up to date on, the series that are not completely published and I am up to date on and I am not up to date on, all of the above. Okay? We're going to be going through series. That's what we're talking about. Simply because I have recently catalogued my personal library, and we have unfortunately found out together on stream today that I've only read 29% of my physical TBR. Sorry, of my physical books that I own, which is not great. It's not great. And I also I keep starting series and not finishing them. So, given all that together, as a collective, we are going to go through all the series that I have, I need to finish, and essentially kind of try and make some end of year goals around that. How does that sound? Does that sound good? I think it sounds good. Right. Let's go on to the series tracker. Okay. Right. Oh god, that was too much. Too much for now. Let's start with the nice stuff, okay? we're going to start with the nice stuff. This is the stuff that I have finished. And I've kind of gone back and thought about ones that I've read when I was younger as well, to make myself feel better, mainly. But here we have all of the series I've read. There are 34 series in my entire life. Maybe bar some that I've forgotten from when I was younger. Like, I don't know. I used to read like Molly Moon and stuff. Did anyone read Molly Moon? Anyway. These are the series I've read. So I've read the Nevernight Chronicle. I have read the Winternight trilogy. I've read the Daevabad trilogy. I've read the Poppy War trilogy. I've read the Folk of the Air trilogy. I've read the Six of Crows duology. I've read the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. Lots of bones. Strange the Dreamer duology. ACOTAR trilogy 1. Because she fucking keeps writing shit. Old Kingdom, which is the Garth, which is Sabriel. Me. Crazy. Ark of a Scythe. Book of the Ancestor. Now, these above here, ACOTAR and above, I feel like these are real staples. If you haven't read some of these, I really would recommend. I really, really would. These are some of the best. This is some of the best literature out there. I'll be real with you, in the fantasy genre. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? Disagree? Then I disagree with you, and you're wrong. Yeah, Old Kingdom, which is Garth Nix. Everyone should give it a try. Give Sabriel a try. There's a reason that I've got 5 copies of it. Ark of a Scythe, fucking brilliant trilogy. Book of the Ancestor, great trilogy. Red Rising, amazing. Red Rising being here is a bit of a because it is, the original trilogy is 3 books, but he did release a sequel trilogy, which is now a quartet, and like that, the last book in that isn't out yet. But I've put it here because it's the original trilogy, and I'm just kind of leaving it because I can, and I do what I want. What are you gonna do? The Imperium trilogy, Farseer trilogy, Twilight Saga, classic. Inkheart, another classic. Saga of Darren Shan. I had to put 2 versions of this in because there's so many books in this. Hunger Games. The last book, well, I say the last book, we don't know if it's going to be the last book, but I have put that little thing in there because we do have the new book coming out in March. But again, this originally was a trilogy, so we're putting it in there. Series of Unfortunate Events, another one where I've had to put 2 lines because it's just so many books. Maze Runner, another oldie but goodie. Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, more just OG series. Greenbone Saga, Scholomance, Monk and Robot, which I am not sure if she's gonna be writing more of these, but at this point it is a completed duology, I guess, of novellas, so we're leaving it there. I hear the Sunspot actually brought out a new book recently, but I'm ignoring that fact because every book apparently is the last book. Southern Vampire Mysteries, I couldn't be asked to put more than, I think there's 9 books, but I was like, I'm not adding another bloody line again. The Ballinger Sisters, which is a romance duology. Bright Falls, which is a romance trilogy. And then I remembered that I read Uglies, so I put that at the bottom. So that was just like a real quick run through, that was, of my completed series. And I kind of put novellas over here, and I put like the year completed if I could remember. Folk of the Air, I could definitely go back and check which, and Six of Crows. These ones I could definitely check Goodreads. Like some of them I can check Goodreads to see which one, when I read the last one. But like Twilight, that's gonna be like if I had to guess, how old was I when I read Twilight? I think I was 11, which is crazy. I was 11, and I was 11 in 2000. I turned 11 in 2009. So at a push, I would say 2010. Isn't that mad? I read Twilight when I was 11. I was reading about her giving birth and nearly dying in Breaking Dawn. That's just crazy. Same with Inkheart. Like, I was in probably like year 6, so I don't know. Like, I would probably also say like maybe 2009. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't know. Anyway, that's the least interesting page, right? we've got 34 series. I feel pretty good about that. And I would feel pretty good about that in general if my incomplete series wasn't at 28. Because that's almost equal. And I don't like that. I don't like that it's basically 50-50. Now, we'll get to this in a second. We're going to look at the ongoing first. Because these series I am up to date on. What I mean by that is I have read all of the currently published books. Right? They are ongoing series. This is why we've got Red Rising 2 here. Morgan Crow, which will never come out. Supposedly it's coming out next year. But we've been saying that for about 5 years now. Wayward Children's ongoing. Another favourite series of mine. Legendborn is ongoing. Court of Miracles. The sequel is actually out very, very soon. This was an Illumicrate book back in the day. Like, back before we had, like, spreadges. We only had bloody block sprayed edges. And this came out in an Illumicrate book. Box. So we've been waiting like 3-4 years for this sequel, and I'm gonna bloody read it when it comes out because I'm sick of been waiting. I mean, I'll have to reread this because God knows what happened in it. I don't. Apparently it's a Les Mis retelling. I forgot that. Hardly anything about Les Mis in it, I'll be real. Iron Widow, I am very, very hyped for this sequel to come out, Heavenly Tyrant. I've ordered the Illumicrate version. I did order the box set, even though I have the original Illumicrate one, because the original Illumicrate one is ugly. There, I said it. What do you want? Right, okay. Do you want to argue with me? It's ugly. I didn't want a matching Heavenly Tyrant for that edition. It's ugly as shit. I don't want that on my shelves. I'll give it to someone else. I'll give it to someone who I want to read Iron Widow because it's a very good book. Oh, very good book. Hannah said, oh, it is ugly. Girl, it's ugly. I don't want it. I don't want it on my shelf. It's so gross. The only reason I have it is because it is the only edition I own. I got it in the box. I then read it because it was in the box. It's gross. And I will not be taking any further questions on this. And I am very glad that they've redone the first version. And I don't care that they don't have a matching version of Heavenly Tyrant for that ugly ass version of Iron Widow. I'm pretty sure I've already gotten rid of it, actually. I don't know where I've put it. But it's not on my shelves. Oh, wait, maybe it is. It could be. It's potentially on my shelves. Really hope Heavenly Tyrant hits like Iron Widow. Oh, God. I'm going to reread Iron Widow and I'm going to have a great time. And I'm going to read Heavenly Tyrant and same. I just really, really want it to be good. It's taken so long. And I know it's because of everything the author has been through. We won't even get into that. It's been crazy. But I really, really hope the same. I hope it hits the same. Because Iron Widow is so good. It's so, so good. Anyway. Again, I've put Hunger Games here because you know why. Amari, I am up to date on. Now, these series, I am not as bothered about being up to date on these series simply because they're not finished. So, the Gentleman Bastard sequence, book 4 has been coming for about 10 plus years. When did the Republic of Thieves release date? 2013. It's been 11 years. 11 years. I'm sorry. It's never happening. It's just I can't. It pisses me off. So I'm not that bothered about being up to date on this one because it's been so long since I read book 2 that I'd have to reread the first 2 to get to book 3. And what's the point of doing that when book 4 is just dead in the water? It is giving Game of Thrones. I think we read Iron Widow for your Patreon book club when it came out. That book was special for me. Oh, I think we did. You are so right, Hannah. Oh, that's so lush. Oh my God, Molly, I just pulled Iron Widow from my TBR jar. Yes. Yes, honestly, it's so fucking good. are like, when I say I don't like YA anymore, like, it is not true for YA that is like Iron Widow. Like, it's so good. So good. Can't wait. Can't wait for the sequel. I'm really hoping it's polyamorous. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Vicious. I never read the sequel. And now that it's already been announced that she's doing a third one, I thought there's no point trying to reread the first one together. Again, a lot of these are like, well, if I wanted to continue, I'd have to reread some. And I can't be asked to do that. Except for the Bone season, I am currently rereading because I'm doing it as a buddy read. That's different though. Middle Game, again, I'm gonna wait for the fourth one to come out next year. But I'm hoping, like, the thing is with this series, I need to buy them. I need to purchase book 2 and 3 because Shauna Maguire doesn't have a proper contract for this series. She just kind of they kind of contract the books based on like how well the previous one has done. So I'm really, really hoping that she'll get enough sales for book 3 that they'll contract her to write book 4. Or I will lose my shit. Crescent City, again, we talked about this earlier. I'm just not that bothered. I'm not that bothered about being up to date. At least until it's complete, like book 4 comes out. Empire of the Vampire, again, same thing. Third book isn't out yet. Lock Tomb, fourth book isn't out yet. Woven Kingdom. This Woven Kingdom originally was meant to be a trilogy. And then, like, as the third book was coming out, she announced, oh no, there's going to be 2 more books. So I don't think this is now an encapsulated trilogy. I think, like, book 3 ends where it can be continued rather than it being, like, a trilogy and then, like, a sequel kind of books. I think it's now all just a quintet. So, again, I've not bothered because I'm like, well, I may as well wait for the others to come out. Why have I got the Bone season twice? Why am I stupid? Anyway, Blood and Ash, same thing. The 6th book is coming out. I looked this up last night. The 6th book is coming out in like the next couple months. That could be a lie. It's coming out soon. And in the synopsis, it said the penultimate book. So there's going to be 7 books. And these guys, these are long. These books are so long. And they're not that good. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not that good. Like, when I do eventually reread these, it'll be quite fresh. Like, I won't remember fuck all that's happened in these books. Because it's just trash. And I love it. I finished the 3rd Blood and Ash book and will never continue. See, that's what I said at the time, but I think if I wait until they're all out and then I reread and like binged it, I think I would have a good time. You couldn't pay me. And then the Witchlands, the same thing happened. It was originally a trilogy or going to be, and then she was like, oh, psych. It's like 6 books now. So when I didn't carry on, I was like, oh, I can just like reread it and then read book 2 and 3. And then no, book 3 isn't the end. Again, it's like this Woven Kingdom. It's not an encapsulated trilogy. And then she's gone, oh, I'm going to do a sequel, like with Red Rising, like a sequel trilogy. It's not. It's all one story. So I'm like, oh, I just couldn't be asked. I can't be asked. Like, with these, it's a waiting game, essentially. I'm waiting for the last book to come out. Fortuna Sworn, like, the last one's coming out soon, apparently. So there we are. Now, this tab, don't panic by all the colours, okay? Because it makes sense to me, right? And it makes sense to me, and that means that it's fine. And I don't care if it doesn't make sense to you. So, so what I first did, right, was I went through and I was like, right, how many of these do I own physically? These are all series that are fully published, but I've not finished them. So every book in the series is out, but I just have not finished reading them yet. So I put, right, I own these physically, and actually it's quite a lot of them. I didn't think it would be as many as this. Like, hang on. 15 out of the 28, so more than half I own physically. So I have no excuse, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I have zero excuse to not read these books. I don't need to wait for them to be in the library. I don't need to, like, wait for them to be on sale on Kindle or something. Like, these are on my shelves as we speak. So, like, what's the fucking problem, basically, is what I've been telling myself, like, as I was doing this last night. So, I was thinking, okay, the physical ones we want to prioritize, right? And then I thought, okay, I was like, oh, okay, which ones do I have on Kindle and which do I have on audio? And it's not that many. I have like 2 on Kindle, which is Live Ship and Brown Sisters, and then audio again, it's 2, Great Coats and Lord of the Rings. And the rest I don't even own. Well, actually, no, sorry, Frost Heart I do own. I think I added that recently, and Polar Bear Explorers Club I do own. I don't know why I didn't put these. The Beautiful, I only read book 1, but I really liked book 1. So it's just been on there for fucking since 2019, so 5 years. Rincewind, like Discworld is a bit of a funny one. Infernal Devices I don't own. Dark Shade of Magic I don't own it. And some of these I don't own them because I've like got rid of I've unhauled the books, but I kind of still want to like read them. I feel like that doesn't make sense, but that's what I've done. Kingdom of the Wicked, I sold my Fairy Loot editions, but I hadn't read the 3rd one yet. I just wanted to sell them. I wanted to get rid of them. But I still do want to finish the series. Like, not in a major way. I'm not, like, attached to it that much. But I would like to, just because there's one left, you know? It's just, like, I don't know. You're making me doubt myself, literally just because I'm talking through it. I'm making myself doubt myself. Anyway, first of all, we're going to prioritize green because that means I own it physically. Second of all, we're going to prioritize the ones where I've only got 1 left. Okay? So if we were to like take out the ones that they are green, so I own them physically, and there's only 1 left. Let's just do, right, so we've got the Ember Quartet is one of them. Literally just the last book to go. And I only read the 3rd book like last month, I think. So it's fresh in my mind. What's next? That's in like that. Like, so the Mistborn trilogy. Again, 1 left. Own it physically. These Violent Delights and the Stormcrow duology. Now, the issue with these is that I've put a yellow here, which means it requires a reread. This means that I read these books, so the first book being The Stormcrow and the first book being These Violent Delights. I read them so long ago that I would need to reread the first book in order to move on. And I was what's the word? Debating. I was debating whether to put 6 Crimson Cranes as yellow or orange as well, because I also read that quite a while ago, but we do have it physically. The sequel is The Dragon's Promise. I've only got 1 left. But I feel like 6 Crimson Cranes, like, I don't think I would need to reread it. And I don't know if that's correct, because I actually, it technically is in the same, like, category as These Violent Delights and the Stormcrow, right? But for some reason, 6 Crimson Cranes, I'm just a bit like, yeah, I could just carry on. I don't know why I think that. Maybe I could just look up like a summary of what happened, because I feel like I do remember what happens. Her brothers all get turned into cranes. She has to like weave a blanket of nettles or something, and then she gets a pearl from a dragon, I think. Spoilers? I don't fucking know. I might have made all of that up. And then we've got the Lycanius trilogy and the Drowning Empire. Why is that not gone? That annoys me. So, do we have anything else? We've got The Prison Healer. I've only read 1. but I do own it physically, and I would need to reread it. A Marvelous Light, I've only read one. The Diabolic, 5th season, Black Sun, I've only read one of them. Same with these ones. Like, the ones where I've only read one so far, I'm not prioritizing as much as the ones that only have one left. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that makes sense. Stalking Jack the Ripper, like, I'm reading some of these now, and I'm like, I might just DNF some of these series. Like, I don't know. I just don't really... like, I don't even own Stalking Jack the Ripper. Do you know what I mean? I feel like this should just go on the DNF series list. I don't feel like I'm ever going to do that. I couldn't tell you whether that was right. The plot of that book left my brain. All I remember is that she was staying in a pub or a bakery, I think. Yeah, she was definitely, like, working. Like, she was pretending to not be royalty in, like, the enemy royalty, or, like, a friend of a family royalty. Like, she was pretending to be a servant for some reason. I couldn't fucking tell you. I'm gonna take the executive decision to put Stalking Jack the Ripper on my DNF list. I'm just not bothered. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I'm ever going to read them. And I don't own it, so I don't fucking care. So, these 4 books are my priority, in my opinion. And they have been my priority, to be fair, for, like, the last, like, month or so. Like, I've sort of been making my way through the Ember Quartet. I've been making my way through the Lycanius trilogy. I reread the first book, not Daughter of Smoke and Bone, The Bone Shard Daughter. I reread the first book, and I read the second book. And the reason I didn't read the third one was the second one was bad. But I do want to complete it. Like, I do, because I have the special editions. I don't know if that's a good enough reason, really. But I am a bit of a completionist. Like, I would rather just finish the book. You know? I'd rather just finish the series rather than just DNF it. Maybe the third book's better. I don't think it is. I think the ratings are quite bad. But maybe I'll think it's good. You know? I don't know. A Darker Shade of Magic also is this gonna happen? I don't know. I gave the first book 3, gave the second book 4, and then literally everybody says that A Conjuring of Light is the best book in the series. So I've clung on to that and left this on my series reading list for years. And then she went and wrote a fucking sequel series, didn't she? Whatever the hell it's called, Fragile Threads of Power. But at least that's an individual, like, not an individual, like a second series. Like, it's its own thing. Like, A Conjuring of Light was a finale. See, I gave A Conjuring of Light 5 stars. See, this is why it stayed on my list. But I would 100% have to reread the first 2 books, because I could not tell you what happened. I think I read them in, like, 2019. That's a long time ago. School for Good and Evil. I've read and reread the first book a couple of times. And I just keep forgetting to carry on. But I do like this book. I do really like this book and want to continue the series. A Chorus of Dragons is a bit of a funny one, because I read the first book and I gave it 5 stars. I really liked it. I really, really liked the first book. And then the second book was a bit of a funny one. It was like, I was at uni, I was stressed. I was listening to it on audio, and I think I was just rushing it. Like, I really rushed listening to it, and, like, most of the time when I was listening to it, I wasn't paying attention. So then I ended up giving it, like, a much lower rating. I think I gave it, like, 2 or 3 stars, or 2.5, something like that. And I just think, like, I feel like I know in my bones, like, that's not the rating I would have given it if I had given it the time and attention that I should have. So I want to go back and I want to reread the first 2 books and then finish the series, because the series finished, I feel like the last book came out like either last year or the year before. It definitely came to me when I was in my flat in Birmingham. So that was like, yeah, it's either 2022 or 2023 that last book came out. And I'd been again, this used to be on this row and I was like, oh, I'm waiting for the last book to come out, and the last book came out and I still didn't read it. So to be fair, nothing happened with the plot in Dark Shade of Magic 2. Lila has magic now. That's it. You could skip it and still know what's going on. Yeah, I guess. I probably could, but I think I'd prefer to reread and finish it. Like, that's... Sorry. That's like as it was intended to be read, right? Is like you remember stuff that happens from the first two books, so I would prefer to read it properly. But yeah, have I missed any of these? The Up and Under is like the same as Middle Game, like it's the oh, this is fully published now. Oh, wait, yes, sorry. It is fully published. Yeah. I got confused then because Middle Game is in this one. But yeah. The Up and Under is like a series of novellas that are featured, like, it's kind of hard to explain. In Middle Game, which is a really, really weird book and is one of my favorite books of all time. In Middle Game, they talk about a children's book series called The Up and Under. And it is said that in this children's book series, which exists within the world of Middle Game, it is said that the secret to alchemy and like eternal life, etc., is hidden within this children's book series, and the path and the road to eternal life and alchemy and you know, symbiosis and whatever is hidden within that. What Shauna Maguire decided to do was write under the name A. Deborah Baker, who in the book, in Middle Game, is the writer of the Up and Under series. And she decided to, IRL, in our world, write the Up and Under series of 4 books. But she's used the pseudonym A. Deborah Baker, which is the same one as the author in the book, in Middle Game. Like, I just think it's so clever. I just think it's so well done. And I really want, like, if there is one book that I would want my whole audience to read, it genuinely wouldn't be Sabriel. Like, I love Sabriel. It is my favorite book of all time. I am Sabriel. I am she. I am he. I am all of the above. And it is a book that formatted my childhood. But if there was a book that I would want anyone to read, other than The Wayward Children, because that's a whole series, Middle Game by Shauna Maguire. Middle Game by Shauna Maguire is the weirdest, stupidest, craziest book, science fantasy book that I have ever read in my entire life. And if any book were to encapsulate me as a person, the chaos, it is this. It's just so good. Like, I don't want to tell you anything else about the plot because you just can't. Like, you just can't. You just need to read it. That's it. You just need to read it. That's all. That's it. That's my soapbox. Anyway, down the bottom then we have some more stuff that, like, I've only read the first book in. I would like to continue these series, but I'm not like, oh my god, I need to finish them now. They're kind of like second on the list, right? They're second on the list to the ones that I only have one left. I really, really, really want to read the Black Sun trilogy as a whole, though. Because Black Sun, again... Black Sun has the exact same vibes for me as Middle Game, but except it's more specifically fantasy rather than like science fantasy. Like, Middle Game is set in the modern day. Black Sun is set in like fantasy times, right? You know, they don't have computers, you know, the type of shit. But Black Sun is definitely another one. I should just like put together a I should do like an Instagram post maybe of like, these books are me. They are me, I am them. And it's not like, oh, what I would recommend. No, these books are me. Do you know what I mean? I think I should do that. Oh, it is. Middle Game is the featured book for Clear Your Shit this year. This year. We'll be forced to read it in the next few weeks. I really hope you like it, Ren. I really do. Because genuinely, it. Oh, some people, like, they don't get it. And that's fine. Like, it's not something that I think everyone will get. But if you do get it, you get so much out of it. You get so much out of this book if you get it, if you buy into it, if you just go along with it. Do you know what I mean? And I remember back in day, I remember recommending it when I was like much bigger on BookTube, like, you know, in my prime, so to speak, at the time, where I was like hanging out with like Becca, Gav, and them at the time. And I remember telling like everyone, you need to fucking read this book. And then Gavin read it and he gave it 5 stars. And that is the one thing for me that I will always like, because Gav is not like I would not say this book is for Gav. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a Gav book, but it was, because it's just so good. Like, it's just so good. Like, I want to reread it so badly, but I'm so bad at rereading things, or like getting halfway through a reread and then like giving up and then feeling bad, etc., etc. And then I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be rereading things. I should be reading stuff that's new, that's on my shelves. And I know I shouldn't be like telling myself off. I should just read what I want to read. But I never finish them because the momentum of wanting to reread stuff like runs out really quickly for me. So unless I was rereading it in order to continue the series, which I want to do when the 4th book comes out. But as I'm speaking now, like, I just really want to reread it. So maybe I just will. So I just reread it. I want to reread it and like tab it and you know. And the good thing about these ones is if you do get the paperbacks of this series, they're really floppy in the UK. Because I think they don't really publish them in the UK properly. Like, this is an American hardback because it says $30. That's crazy. $30 for a hardback. That's insane. Anyway, yeah. And then we have a couple of kind of, you know, just little middle grade series on the end, which again, middle grade, I'm a bit like, I'll just read it when I feel like reading it. It's not really like, oh my god, I want to finish this series. So my aim before the end of the year is definitely to read these 4 books. I'm definitely going to read the Lycanius trilogy, last one, because it's on my bed. Like, it's my next read. But I just have not read anything in November yet. Like, anything at all, which is kind of mad. I need to pick up a book. Like, physically need to pick up a book. But I've just, my brain has been a bit. And then I would say my next kind of priority is probably Live Ship Traders. Because again, I've got 1 left and it's been preventing me from moving on to the other books in the entire realm of the Elderlings. And funnily enough, Live Ship Traders, it's just not my favourite. It's not my favourite series. And I know a lot of people love this trilogy. Like, love this trilogy. Out of all of the realm of the Elderlings, like, people love the Live Ship Traders. I gave the first one, I think I gave the first one 4. But the second one, I did not have a good time. Mad Ship is book 2, I think. Yeah, so book 2, I'm pretty sure I gave it like 3. 3.5, and it took me 6 months to read it. 3.5 isn't like awful. I think I gave the first one 4 stars. Yeah, solid if a bit boring. And when I tell you, like, the Farseer trilogy is different. I gave this one 5 stars. What did I give book 2? 4. 5, 4, 4, which is good. That's really good. But yeah, the live ship traders, we've gone 4-3, and then we'll see what I give book 3. I'm not feeling great about it, but I have been trying to get a summary of what happened in the first 2 books, and I've kind of managed to cobble together like what happened, because obviously a lot happens in these books. They're really long epic fantasies, and I feel like I actually really hate myself when I leave this long between epic fantasy books, because I'm like, I don't remember any plot points at all from anything ever. So now I'm going into book 3 like, guess we'll see what happens. Something's gonna happen and I'm gonna be like, huh? I'm reading Mad Ship right now and loving it. Just getting really pissed off with Malta. She gets better. Malta gets better. Like nearer the end, I think. But yeah, the character development for Malta is crazy. Like crazy. But for most of the first book, and probably actually most of the second, she's really fucking annoying. I also hate Kyle. Everyone hates Kyle. What's new? And then quickly, shall we go through what series I've DNF'd? Thrown a glass. Starting out strong here. Thrown a glass. DNF'd at book 3. I'm just not. I can see that's the direction, but right now, oh my life, girl, yeah, it is crazy. She fucks me off. Like, why are you being like that? But yeah, Thrown a Glass, book 3. Children of Blood and Bone. Book 2 just took too long to come out. I'm sorry, Ms. Adeyemi. I'm sorry. It took too long. I couldn't be asked. Daughter of the Pirate King. Fucking dog shit book. Queen of the Tearling. Awful. I'm sorry. I actually, this book makes me angry. It's just so bad. And like, some of them are so highly rated and some people love it. And I just can't get on with it. Matched. Remember Matched from back in the day? Ali Condi. I never read book 3. One of Us is Lying. Didn't like the book. So, not going to continue. The Selection. Again, it's an oldie but a goodie. But like, I was just never going to continue that series. Mortal Instruments. I'm pretty sure I just never read book 6 when I was younger. Same with the Gone series by Michael Grant. Just can't be asked to carry on. His Art Materials. I DNF'd the last book because they started talking about God. And I'll be real, I was like 14 and I was like, I don't give a shit about this. I could not give less of a fuck about what is going on in book 3. I've reread book 1 multiple times. I read it as a standalone, basically. Let's reread Mortal Instruments next year. Now, Molly, why would I do that? Why would I do that? I don't even own them. I got rid of my copies. Like, they got mold on them. Divergent, DNF'd in book 2. Insurgent was fucking shite. Sorry about it. Morganville Vampires. A lot of these are very old ones. 1 book a month. Ugh. Why? Yeah. House of Night, book 9. These are just ones from when I was a teenager. Broken Earth trilogy. Now, we're getting rid of this because I read the 5th season. You can see I've put it back in here. I read the 5th season and I think I wasn't ready for it. I think myself and my good self was not ready for the Broken Earth trilogy. So, fine. The Wrath of the Dawn is actually a really good book, but I just never could be asked to carry on. Stags, shit book. Devouring Grey, shit book. Godblind was okay. Queen's Thief was okay. Oh, I'm planning on picking up Amber Spyglass tomorrow. Not happy about it now. Ryan, how are you reading everything I'm talking about when it's so old? Skyward. Dog shit. I fucking hate this book. I hate it. I really hate it. I hate it so much. Serpent and Dove. again, not great. Sen in a Sense, hated it. We Hunt the Flame, hated it. Book of the Ice, hated it so much. So much. Fable, again, shit book. Kingdom of Souls, this was alright. Thorn Chapel, I'm gonna go back and read, actually. This was it's smut, basically. I noped out because there was like suspected incest in it, and I stick with me. I found out it was a very Mortal Instruments type vibe, where it was like, oh, at one point they think that they were related, but then they're not. It turns out they're not. So I think I'm gonna go back to this one and see how I feel. Burning Kingdoms, which was, what's it called? Jasmine Throne, shit book. Mirror Visitor was good. I liked the Mirror Visitor, but all I ever heard was how the series just gets worse and worse and worse. So, Gilded Wolves, again, was all right. It was okay. Couldn't be asked. Vespertine, shit book. One of the shittest books I've ever read in my life. One of the most disappointing, because Margaret Rogerson has done some bangers, but Vespertine was one of the shittest books I've ever read in my life. And it was the first book I read in, I think it was 2021. Like the very first book I read. And it was just so bad. Bone Ships, awful book. Way of the Argosy was alright. Spellslinger was alright. Three Dark Crowns, at the time, right? At the time, Three Dark Crowns was like the best thing I'd ever read. Now, if I read it now, I'd be like, it's good, I guess. Illuminae, I DNF'd halfway through book 2 because it was just exactly the same plot from book 1 but with different characters. Daughter of the Moon Goddess, it was okay. Forest of Souls was pretty good. I'm pretty sure I gave it 4 stars, but like, I wasn't like, oh my god, I need to know what happens next. Do you know what I mean? Only a Monster, Vanessa Len. Again, pretty good book. Gave it 4 stars. Am I bothered about the sequel? No. And then we did just add this from the other one because let's be real, I'm not going to read it. I don't own them. I'm not going to buy them. And that's all my DNF'd series. That's it. So my goal now for the end of this year, for 2024, let's say, is to finish these 4 books at the very least. And then my kind of next priority is these 2, simply because Live Ship Traders, I really would love to continue that series, like the Realm of the Elderlings series. So to finish that would be a nice tick off. The Brown Sisters, reading Eve Brown would just be easy. It's so easy to do, I may as well do it. And then after that, I feel like there's not, like, I can kind of pick and choose then if I really want to like reread the first in a series and finish it. Like, I could do it. I feel like Black Sun is probably the one I'm more excited about to finish, because the 3rd book literally only came out like 2 months ago or a month or so ago. So I am excited about Black Sun. But that's my, like, I mean, that's 6 books. I feel like there's only 6 weeks left of the year-ish, maybe 7 weeks. So 6 books, 1 per week? Maybe? Who knows? But that is it for my series. Thanks for watching. This is one of my first videos back. And yeah, it is on stream. If you don't know, I stream every Sunday, 7 p.m. GMT. We talk about bookish stuff. Sometimes we do sprints. And today we talked about my physical CBR and how little of it I've actually read. But yeah, thanks for joining. Check out my Twitch. It's okay, guys. We've done the outro now. So we're back. We're locked in. We're locked back into stream. Alright, I'll stop recording. I'm not working at the moment after top surgery. Literally all I do is read right now. Oh my gosh, congrats on your top surgery, Ren. That's awesome. Fucking great. Speaking of, that actually was all I had for stream today. That was all I had lined up on the roster. So I'm going to say bye to you guys now as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Today has been pretty good with yapping for 2 hours straight. Love that for me. When it streams like this, like yap streams, I feel like it's going to be more like between 2 and 2.5 hours. And then reading sprint streams, I'm going to try and make them a little bit longer. So maybe, you know, obviously like sprints they just take up so much time, you know? They really do. But I am going to be hopefully doing like more Bookstagram content, maybe a bit of BookTube content. Obviously I did that video then. If I don't edit and upload it, then don't shout at me. Just pretend it didn't happen. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and we will be back next Sunday, the 17th of November. Make sure you keep an eye out for the Goodreads Choice Awards this week.